Hello, everybody. Mark Heather from Seceon again. I'm the EMEA channel manager. Welcome to our third roundtable thought leadership event with Randy Blasik, our VP of Technology, and Joe Vigorito, our VP of Solution Sales. Today's topic is that we expect to see heightened focus and leveraging of artificial intelligence and machine learning to identify sophisticated and stealthy cyber attacks, as well as using AI and ML to generate advanced cyber threats. This, along with things like ChatGPT, is causing quite a few waves in the industry at the moment, and particularly with ChatGPT, there's a lot of fear, uncertainty, and doubt out there. And I'd just like to get your thoughts on where we actually are with this new paradigm and where it might wind up in 2, 3, 4 years' time. So, Joe, if you'd like to kick off the answers for that one, over to you.
Sure, Mark. Yeah, no, thank you. And well, again, welcome to everybody. This subject can go on for we could do a day-long session about it, but let me give you a couple of quick points just to kind of set the table, and then we'll go into some other areas. And by the way, Randy has a lot of knowledge in this area, so I'm going to turn it over to him fairly quickly. But in the words of a gentleman by the name of Stu Showerman, who's the CEO of the cybersecurity awareness company KnowBe4, ChatGPT could be a match made in heaven or an attack waiting to happen, or both of those. So here's a couple of things of high noteworthiness. Serious cybersecurity researchers have been able to get OpenAI's ChatGPT to write really quality phishing emails and malicious code for them just in the past couple of weeks, right? Mirroring what malware attackers were getting really, really good at. I'll give you 2 quick instantiations. Researchers at Checkpoint Research verified that they got a plausible phishing email from ChatGPT after asking it to write themselves a phishing email that comes from a fictional web hosting service. So ChatGPT made up a domain and a very real looking phishing email, sent it to them and said, here's your sample, use it however you want. And then the other cybersecurity company that I'll reference is Abnormal Security tested ChatGPT to write an email that has a very high likelihood of getting the recipient to click on a link. Now, why is this so significant? This is so significant because, and this is where I'm going to turn it over to you, Randy, for your comments. We've got attackers and defenders out there. It seems like we are now on strictly an even playing field. We are utilizing the same tools. And for organizations that are already struggling to fend off even the most basic of attacks, right? Including those in which a hacker uses a stolen or a leaked password to log into accounts, we would be very hard pressed to stave off costly breaches using simple AI capabilities. So what I mean by that is simply AI technologies, machine learning, natural language processing need to provide those real-time insights and those real-time analytics for analyzing potential cyber threats. Otherwise, the attacker is actually using a kit, a tool set that is further advanced than what our tool set would be. So if you're not considering using those tools, if you don't know where to find them, if you don't know what tools bake them into their platforms, that's a reason to raise your hand and ask, and we'll definitely help you with that. So Randy, I'm going to turn it over to you with this. Can AI and cybersecurity go hand in hand to defend against modern day attackers?
Thanks, Joe. OpenAI is one of my favorite subjects, to talk about. It's a very interesting piece of technology, and I think the last time, and I have a pretty good eye on technology. The last time I felt like this was when Google just started out. Where you were looking at something and you were like, this is going to be a special piece of technology. And at the time when I was looking at Google, I wouldn't have dreamed that you probably would use it 10, 15, 20 times a day. Fast forward to OpenAI. I think, it's going to be something that we're only just now beginning to understand. From a business perspective and even from a humanity perspective. I think it's a tool that's going to help, more than hurt. But in the short term, while we learn to use it, and I think while it learns to interact with us, I think there's going to be some cybersecurity specific gaps. I think threat actors are going to utilize artificial intelligence to craft, the threats that they have a heck of a lot quicker than they would be able to just manually. And I think we talked about this in one of our other subject matters in terms of closing skills gaps. With AI, it invites a whole bunch of new people, a whole bunch of new threat actors that probably don't have the technical skill sets, that today's threat actors have. But it can close those gaps. I mean, they can talk to the artificial intelligence and ask it ways or to help them improve on some of their ideas that they have, to steal data and to do, really bad things, to businesses in particular. Yeah. So is there anything, Joe, when it comes to AI, what is there anything, that, in terms of cybersecurity, that on a short list, is there anything that comes to your mind, that you're worried about?
Tremendous. So, here's the thing. These projects like OpenAI and ChatGPT and others, right? They're in their absolute infancy, right? They are newborns in the pantheon of human existence as a comparative factor. I'm really worried about what the child of the child is going to look like, and the level of sophistication is going to be significant. Now, I will say this, Randy, looking at kind of the opposite end of the spectrum, what can AI do for us, right? As ultimately cyber defenders, right, who are using real-time tools that incorporate AI and ML in them. Well, it can automate tedious and time-consuming tasks, right? And that's something that AI does extremely well. It makes your SOC teams, to go back to one of our earlier predictions that we did previously, it makes them more focused, more directed, more vital in the work that they do. It increases their overall efficiency and effectiveness. It can automatically detect and evaluate very real security issues. It can even respond to threats automatically, right? So there's a lot of great functionality there that we want to leverage. Unfortunately, in the wrong hands, it could also be utilized against us. Now, the other thing is that AI is not beholden to just some. It is available to the world's population now. It wasn't that way, certainly, 7 to 10 years ago. So, there's many machine learning and AI algorithms that are out there that can aid in the creation of a baseline for real-time threat detection and analysis. And I would encourage all of you to ask questions, put us in the docket, asking us those kinds of questions. Ask us questions about regression and clustering and classification. and make us talk a little bit about those things with you. The bottom line is that you've got to be smarter than the smartest person who's our adversary, right? So if we're using AI-based behavioral biometrics, we've got to use them to help validate user-based techniques more so than an attacker can pretend or masquerade to be someone else by giving themselves a behavioral stamp that is permissible in our environment, right? So, you know, we've got a lot of security challenges in our traditional security architectures. I wouldn't call this a traditional problem, but I will tell you that beyond convention, this is one of the biggest threats that is out there today in the marketplace. And it takes companies that have a lot of intellectual capital, number one, and number two, companies that already several years ago saw this train coming down the track and started out working in this environment of mathematics-based defenses. It takes somebody like that in order to defend against these. And hopefully, Randy, all of that makes sense. Mark, anything to follow up on regarding this? I know this is a very, very deep, complex subject. It's one of the reasons why I think people like Randy and I like it so much. But anything to kind of go back on?
Not really, guys. We've sort of run out of time on that. But as you said earlier, if anybody wants to come and talk to us about it, any aspect, it is a whole 2-week subject in itself. So with that, I'd like to thank you for your time and just wind up this final roundtable, thought leadership roundtable, with the next subject, which we'll be addressing, which is, I'm looking at it up now. It is going to be on cybersecurity professionals will see an increased emphasis on active real-time security monitoring and analytics. So hopefully you'll join us in our next roundtable. Thanks a lot, guys.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, everyone.